Is it showing my face twice? Or is that just on my end?
Yeah, I just came back here and I don't see the board. So give me
Oh,
one
okay.
sec.
I
Let me
was
go
just
back
showing
there
my own
again.
face twice, and I was like,
Oh, there
oh,
they
I
go.
hope I
There they
didn't do
go.
that. There we go.
All right. I can't hear them though.
Six through 12. We are part of Community School District 11, and we will be bringing our high school over when we move into our permanent location, which is 801 Bartholdi Avenue, Street. And Caitlin Franco, who is online, will be screen sharing if she has access to slide 8 specifically, which goes through the street closure initial request, and there's a map to go along with that. So we do not need street closures in the morning. Our buses will be on, will come to Barnes Avenue, and when scholars need to be dropped off, the buses will use their regular stop signs. Scholars will come off of the buses, and we'll try our very best to make sure that is a very efficient process where they're only using the stop signs when scholars are actually unloading from the bus. But there is no street closure request for morning arrival. Street closure request happens on Magenta Street between Bronxwood and Barnes Avenue. We're hoping that we get a favorable response for street closure between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. And that is to support our several grades having access to recess. There is an upstairs outside play area, but with 6 grade levels of elementary school at full expansion. We'd like for the scholars to be able to have access to more space. We also will have our high schoolers at the campus as well, and we'd love for them to be able to eat lunch outside instead of having to leave campus and go to Gun Hill Road, which then creates possibly some traffic when it comes to the Evander campus. The other time for the street closure, again, Magenta Street between Bronxwood and Barnes Avenue would be 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. And that is to support our dismissal and make sure that we can use the outsourced space for classes to come outside onto the street and for families to be able to pick their children up. We had a really successful meeting with the AP at the Evander campus. He assured us that Magenta Street is not used as any of their egresses. They actually use Gun Hill Road for 3 of the schools, and then they use Bronxwood Avenue for 2 of the schools. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't creating any unnecessary traffic with the high school location. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amanda Mercado, Mercado.
Hello? Ms. McConnell,
Yep.
the school that you are leaving from 222nd Street to the Learning, well, it's not the Learning Tree anymore. That's the one that's behind Evander.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be from what grade?
So that will have our K through 5 at full expansion next year, K through 3, as well as our entire high school, which is grades 9 through 12.
What are the capacity of all this for the school year 25, 26, 27?
So for our high school, it's approximately 360 scholars. We serve about 90 scholars at each grade level. And then for K through 3, which is 4 grade levels, we'll be at another 360. But in full enrollment for our elementary school will be 540, and then it will be 360 for our high school.
Now, all of this will be in that building behind Evander
Yes, that is correct.
as of September of 26, 27.
That is correct. Fingers crossed, everything is set to move for this summer.
Okay, I'm looking forward.
Me too.
Do any board members have any questions? Ariel? Hello, I believe you said that somebody's going to show us the map
Oh, yeah.
about, okay, because I'm just trying to have an idea exactly the residents who's on that in that neighborhood. I think before when you guys came to speak that you guys said there was like no parking or something in that area. I'm
Absolutely.
trying to remember.
Yeah.
So just kind of a little bit, I guess when I get to see that, I can like use some follow-up questions for that.
Caitlin, are you able to screen share on your end?
Yeah, it said it was sharing on my end. Let me try again and then just tell me. It showed me as sharing, so maybe I was not. So hold on one second. Give me a second.
And
Are you
that's
seeing it
doing
now?
that- Okay.
Are you seeing it?
So
Yes,
the
yes,
boxed
yes.
area is magenta between Bronx Wood, which is over here on the right side, although it's not named, and then Barnes Avenue. In that blue box, there are no residents. It's the back of the Evander campus, and currently on Evander's side of the street, it is no parking school zone already, 7 to 4 p.m. And then magenta coming back this way is the front of our building. There are residents, I believe it's 3 residents. I don't know if they're multifamily homes or not on Barnes Avenue, which is why we'll do our very best to make sure that busing is as efficient as possible and trying our best to make sure that the buses park closest to the corner of Magenta, which is past those residents. There's a big lot there. And so that should mean it should create less of an issue around traffic. But again, we're not asking for any street closure on Barnes. That'll just be the regular school bus drop off. But we are asking for that blue box magenta between Bronxwood and Barnes to be closed between 10 and 12 p.m. when we have outdoor recess. When we're not using it, we don't plan on keeping it closed. So if we end up with a 10:30 to 11:45 schedule, that's the amount of time that we would close it. And anytime it's not being used by us, we would open it up. There's no reason for it to just stay stagnant. And then again, from 2:15 to 3:15 to support the elementary school dismissal. And then for Evander, which is the little cap that you see, they have 3 of their schools. Their egresses for arrival and dismissal are on East Gun Hill Road, and then 2 are on Bronxwood. So imagine where you see 7 Spices, that's where the 2 other schools for Evander leave out of. So again, trying our best to make sure that we're not creating any unnecessary traffic or conflict. We had a really great meeting with the AP at Evander. We're hoping that before the end of the year, we can join one of the building council meetings with the 5 principals that are at the school as well, but really trying to make sure that we were thoughtful before we requested anything.
Sorry, lastly, you said that one side of the street is no standing. What is the other side? The other side is just vacant?
Right now, there's nothing on it, but that would be the front of our school. So we would imagine that that might end up being sort of school zones as well. It just isn't at this moment.
And there's no, like, residents don't use that area to park their cars?
No.
There's just nothing there?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are people that park their car right now, but like
Okay.
right now there was scaffolding and construction. So a lot of the contractor vehicles were parked in front, but I wouldn't be able to tell you that right now. It is open parking, but it is right in front of our school as well. And typically what will happen is they'll create those as school zone parking as well. Assuming, right? But I'm not sure. I don't want to tell you I know it when I don't. Thank you, though.
Well,
Hello? Okay, I'm on, okay. I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
Who's going to have the responsibility of closing the street and opening the street? Is it the school or you're going to have police department there?
Well, we would work in conjunction with the police. I have some prior experience when I worked at a charter school in Brooklyn. We actually had gotten the sign off from the police and then there were designated times but our staff was responsible for making sure that the streets that we closed off were barricaded. But sometimes the local precinct would provide us with those like blue barricades for it.
The question I have, what type of barricades are you going to use?
Whatever the police department recommends, should the closing
Well,
be approved.
I will recommend the French barriers
Okay,
because they hook into each other. The wooden horses are not, that's old time.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Old time stuff. You really should have the French barriers.
French barriers is what they're called?
Yeah, they're called the
Okay.
French barriers.
Okay,
And they hook into each other. So somebody can't come up and just start opening.
got it.
Whoever puts them in place will be the only ones to be able to take them out of place.
Thank
So-
you.
So that's one of my recommendations.
Okay.
And are you gonna have anybody, with a vest or something in the street while these streets are closed?
I would imagine we'd run it the same way we would do evacuation drill, where staff is designated with orange vests to ensure that they, can signal to drivers that this is a no driving zone. Drivers are not always as cooperative as we would like them to be, so we're hoping that over time, right, we can do that and sort of bring everyone in, but we'll have more staff to start off with until the community gets more familiar with the fact that there would be the closures.
Okay, the other thing is, no school buses are gonna lay over by the school, is that correct?
No, currently, no school buses stop and lay over by our space at 220 Second and White Plains Road, nor at our current high school location. Yeah, the goal is to keep the buses moving so that this way that traffic is cleared.
Of course, I don't want it to be used as a parking area for the school buses.
Agreed.
They should go back to their yard where they belong. That's why I asked, because they blight the neighborhood.
Absolutely. We have teachers and staff members that need parking. We want to make sure, Evander, right now, when we went to go speak to them, they shared with us, right, that they are experiencing some construction issues that are sort of creating issues with their parking lot. And so we want to make sure the buses are not taking up any spots.
Okay, as far as that dead zone across where there's no signage right now,
Mhm.
I would actually ask you to request the DOT to put no standing anytime signs there.
Okay.
This way it will keep the street open and there'll be no vehicles parked there during school hours.
Mhm.
You can do it from 7 to 4 or whatever hours they want to give you. But there should be no parking on that side of the street.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know right now there are, on the side of the street where that is closed for school, there are cars from one of the Evander schools at Evander. So they have their plaques and we would be working with staff to let them know, here are the times where the street would be closed. Obviously, in an emergency situation, right, we need to prioritize you being able to get out. But that sort of happens at our middle school is located at the PS 160 campus in Co-op City. And staff will park in the playground area and they know when it's during recess, it doesn't matter unless there is an actual emergency, your car stays put until the kids are out of the way. So we want to make sure it's safe, but also conducive to the staff members at Evander.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, right, directly in front of the school, on the school side, what parking is there?
Right now, there is no signage,
No
but
signage.
across the street on the back side of Evander's campus, there is school zone parking. So no parking between
So there's no-
7 and 4 p.m.
So in the front of Equality, there's no.
Right now, there is nothing.
Yeah, there may need to be a no standing zone
Yeah.
as well, at least during school hours.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah,
How about your
separate.
crossing guards, Miss? How many crossing guards you would need or expect to have around your school?
We're hoping that at the very least, we can get one crossing guard in, hoping that the amount of traffic, again, that they'll go, it's not about the fact that you have also high school, it's just the amount of scholars that you have coming into the building, but that's something that we would also check in on with the Evander campus to see how many they have, because we expect that a lot of the scholars will be coming off of the bus at East Gun Hill Road, right? But for our high school, the elementary school scholars will be probably walked or driven by their families. So we'll have to look at that.
This is inside the 4-7 or the 4-9? 4-7? 4-7.
4-7. Does anybody else have questions?
Hi, Colleen. I know we finally get to see each other in person.
Finally, we get to see each other in person after all of these months of
Yes.
speaking on the phone. I just wanted to make sure you knew that in the basement of Evander is a task force.
I wasn't aware. Thank you.
Yes, there is a police department. It's a task force.
Awesome.
I used to work in that building.
Okay,
So just so, make sure you understand,
thank you.
okay?
Does Kristen have anything that she would like to present to us?
Caitlin, anything that
I'm
you?
sorry, Caitlin.
Nope, nothing for me. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, that's the end of our public hearing for Equality Charter School. Thank you. Time is 6:59.
You close the meeting?
He's working the summer madness. We have stuff around.
All right, sorry about that. The meeting is over, so I'm going to end the meeting and stop the recording. So thank you for attending. Stop.